Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix playthrough. It is time to begin the final story of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Yes, we've done Terra, we've done Ventus, and now it is time to do Aqua. My favourite character in the game, and I would argue pretty much most people's favourite character in the game. Yeah, basically Aqua's the one who all the Kingdom Hearts fans were, oh my god, it's my waifu type deal over. And part of me feels rightfully so, because Aqua in the end ends up being, redundancies there, but you get the point, she ends up being the most developed of our three heroes. And also, I would say that she's also the most interesting of the three, in that while Ven is your sort of your Sora figure and Terra is your Riku figure, Aqua ends up being sort of an adult in the world around her. Like, Terra's quite gullible and willing to believe what other people say. Ven's just really reckless, but Aqua actually sort of generally tries to think things through. She proceeds a lot more intelligently through the story than her counterparts. And I think the other reason why a lot of people ended up falling in love with Aqua is because she is well, to put it basically, a strong female character, and she isn't reliant on the others to save her. Like, Kingdom Hearts has had an issue over the years with its female characters, if only because Kairi was pretty much its only representation. You did have Naminé, but she was also prisoner. And you do have Shion, but that's a lot more complex than a basic situation. So really, Aqua was the first time that we really had an active participant in the story who was female. And so I think a lot of people were really, really excited by that prospect. And to be honest, I think that it's great. Like, so obviously getting into sort of more the gender politics and everything. While there is an argument for not every game needs to have equal gender representation. Sometimes you're trying to tell a very specific story, and sometimes that requires only one gender to tell. Either that is a male-centric story or a female-centric story. But sometimes in certain genres you end up really stuck in one rut. Thankfully, for the most part, Japanese RPGs do tend to have a much greater level of diversity in their casts, which is something that's always been one of their greatest strengths, I would say.
Which brings us to the next trial.
It's always great when you can have that balance, so people can get to choose who they want to represent themselves as in the game. And it just means that then, while to most people it doesn't matter what the character is, to some people that's their chance to see themselves presented in a video game, on screen, or what have you. And so it's important for those people to have that, to be able to say, yes, I am here, I am okay, I am worth it, so to speak. And I mean, that's part of the reason why so many people these days are really
we have deliberated and
determined to progress that. And I feel that, yeah, go for it. It's the right thing to do, because what a lot of games, media, a lot of film, and so on and so forth, do tend to miss is
But there is
that
always next
sometimes
time.
the gender
That
of a
is all.
character doesn't
Aqua,
matter,
as our newest
at which
Keyblade
point,
master, you are
why
entitled to
do
certain
they
knowledge.
have to
Please
be
wait
one
here
or
for
the other?
further instruction.
And, or why do they have to be a particular sexuality? And
Hey,
I'd say the sooner we can get to the point
Tara.
where
I'm sorry.
none of it actually matters, we can have any gender, any sexuality, or what have you in a game, and it succeed. And also, I like how having this serious conversation over Kingdom Hearts, and all I can hear is an ice cream
What do
van
you make of
outside
that?
being noisy and just going
He ain't
and
gonna
killing
try.
me right in the heart of a
Somebody's
sort of
gotta birth
impassioned
that loser
speech.
Not here, you won't. I
But
have
yeah,
to keep
it's
up
it's
appearances.
important, because the sooner we get to that
I
point
know
where
that.
it doesn't matter,
He just
then
needs one incentive to
really
leave home.
the stories we tell will be succeeding anyway. Like, it's no longer it no longer becomes an issue,
I need some time alone.
and that's what I think we need to get to, and we are slowly but surely getting there in
And
different forms of
insomuch
media.
as
It's just
you are now
that
Keyblade master,
some of them
always be
tend
conscious
to
of
be a little bit on the wrong side, in that they're just going, yes, let's stick women in it and it'll all be fine. It's not quite how it always works, but ooh, new cutscenes. Nearly, sort of, a little bit, I don't really
why
know.
isn't Ven here?
Complicated
Very well,
stuff, but yeah, basically I
I
think
will
Aqua
send
just
my
got
people to
told a little bit of
investigate.
information by Master Ericus, but we will get to some new stuff
Yes.
very shortly.
I understand.
Once again, it's that whole thing of repeated
Farewell.
cutscenes and stuff, which is why I went on that whole lovely long discussion about gender politics
That was
and
my
video
dear
games,
old
because
friend
why the
Yen
hell
Sid.
not?
As you know, he is master no more. But he
And
still
also,
keeps a
it then
close eye
means
on the
that I can
tides
get
of
that
light
out of
and
the way,
darkness.
and then that just means that I can
Council
focus on the
serves
plot
as signpost.
for Aqua's story
Road
and the rest of the
wielders
game,
the Keyblade must
and
walk.
that just makes everyone's lives a hell of a lot better, I
Then
feel.
For concern, for he tells me the princesses of heart are in danger, not only from the forces of darkness, which you may assume, but also from a new threat, one that feeds on negativity, fledgling emotions that have taken monster form. Yen Sid calls them the Unversed. As wielders of the Keyblade, you are tasked with striking down any who would upset the balance of light and darkness. The Unversed are no exception. I tried to pass this news on to Master Xehanort, but my repeated attempts to reach him have failed. I doubt there is any connection, and yet this all troubles me.
Master Xehanort is gone?
So here we are. I need you two to get this situation under control. Eliminate the Unversed, and find Master Xehanort. I have unlocked the lanes between. You may use these forbidden pathways to travel between this world and countless others. The darkness looms closer than usual within these spaces, but your armor will protect you. Lastly, remember that order must be kept. You cannot tell anyone there are other worlds. Now go, and fulfill your duty.
Yes, Master.
Terra, consider this an opportunity. A second chance for you to change my mind.
What?
You must know, I care for you like my own son. If I could have my way, I would name you master in a second. But how can I, when you are so obsessed with power? Terra, you mustn't be afraid of losing. Fear leads to obsession with power, and obsession beckons the darkness. You must never forget.
Thank you, Master. I swear, I will not fail you again.
Master, I best be on my way.
Wait, Aqua. Before you depart, I have one other, well, call it a request. the utmost priority.
Yes?
I told Terra this could be a second chance to show the mark of mastery, and I meant it. However, that flicker of darkness he displayed during the examination, I can sense it runs very deep. If those powers were to prove too much for him to handle, I want you to bring him back to me at once. It's for his own good. He could not bear to lose any of you to the darkness.
Of course. I would never let that happen. I promise you I will bring Terra back. Only this time, you'll see he has what it takes to be a master. He's not as weak as you think.
Yeah.
Wait, Ben!
No, he mustn't. You have to bring him back.
Don't worry, Master.
And so, Aqua's story begins, chasing after both Terra and Ventus to, one, bring Ventus home, and two, to make sure that, Terra don't do anything particularly stupid. Which, since, Castle Dreams is our first world, nice thing is that obviously each of the characters begins in a different world. So Terra begins in Enchanted Dominion, Ven begins in, Dwarf Woodlands. It means that it all sort of ties in to when they left, effectively. Because obviously Terra gets to Enchanted Dominion, then he gets to Dwarf Woodland, which is when Ven's there, and then he finally makes his way over to Castle of Dreams, which is when he crosses over with Aqua, who obviously is the last to leave. And we're actually going to get thrown pretty much immediately into that cutscene. Which, great, we'll go with that.
Mademoiselle! Senorita! Wait!
Aqua!
Terra! Terra, Ven ran away from home.
What?
I think he left to go find you. Do you have any idea why?
No. Actually, just before I left, he tried to tell me something. I should have listened to what he had to say.
Oh. So, did you manage to locate Master Xehanort?
No, but it seems he's looking for pure hearts filled with light.
Pure hearts, filled with light.
All I can tell you is that his search hasn't taken him here.
Alright. I'll stay and see if I can find more clues.
Okay. The prince is in the ballroom ahead. He might have some answers.
Thanks.
Aqua!
Hmm?
You still have the same dream?
Well, yes.
There's this girl here. Her name is Cinderella. She made me realize how powerful it is just to believe. No matter how impossible things seem, a powerful enough dream will always be enough to light the darkness. If you see her, give her my thanks.
Will do. He'll be all right. He won't give in to it.
And yes, there's actually quite a lot for Aqua to do, because generally, I do mean generally, she does get to explore quite a lot of the worlds. And you might think, why am I just going straight into the ballroom rather than going and picking anything up? It's because I'm going to explore the ballroom on the way back down, because really that's the point. I'm going to explore it all, but oh, tensions are rising.
Who are those ladies?
Oh, if I recall correctly, that is Lady Tremaine, and those are her daughters.
There was something very wrong about them.
You came back.
Huh?
Oh, my apologies. I was mistaken.
Very mistaken.
Your Highness, I
Her
found
hair
this on the palace
is
stairs.
blue.
A glass slipper.
One dropped by a lovely young lady, and I'll search far and wide to find the maiden to whom this belongs.
You will.
Of course, Your Highness. After all, you finally found someone whom you wish to marry. Upon hearing that happy news, your father, the king, has decreed that a quest shall begin immediately throughout the kingdom, and I will start with the closest residence, that of Lady Tremaine.
Lady Tremaine. I'd better pay her a visit.
Yeah, probably should. Would definitely make sense. Nothing really is going on in this ballroom, and that is okay. But we are going to be spending quite a lot of time having a little bit of a fighty. Because obviously, one of the things that you notice very quickly with Aqua, particularly on Proud mode or Critical mode, is that she doesn't really have a lot of health to start off with. And while her magic is second to none, and just generally really excellent and can get you out of many scrapes, in general, you do want to spend a lot of time levelling her up to begin with, just to make sure that you get the health that you so desperately need at this early stage in the game. And it's something that, yeah, it can be pretty noticeable. If I recall correctly, I probably ended up with the most, I think, if I recall correctly anyway, I ended up with the most game overs with Aqua than any other character. And that is just because she is just that bit more squishy than Ven and Terra. Which can be frustrating, but she also has the best dodge maneuver in the game. The cartwheel is just absolutely outstanding, and also just really fun. It's even more fun than the dodge roll. Like, part of me just sort of wants Sora to start doing cartwheels rather than dodge rolls, because it's just that awesome and I love it. And yeah, just in general, I feel like Aqua is one of the most fun characters in the entire franchise to play. And I mean, I suppose part of that is because you are going to be spending more time with Aqua than you are with either Ven or Terra, for very specific reasons which will become apparent later on down the line. But also, I think because of the cartwheeling, because of the focus on magic rather than the physical attacks, it just makes her combat style a lot more fluid and flowy, which is obviously perfectly fitting for her design, because obviously you've got the ribbons and the bits of fabric flowing off the side, which do create a really fun silhouette and a really fun also flow to battle animations, more so than Terra's sort of big bulky structure or Ven's kind of very small uninteresting structure. I mean, that whole sort of flappy fabric in battle look is one that I've always been a fan of. It's not necessarily the best thing to be doing when you're in a battle, because obviously if you've got any bits of fabric flying everywhere, then there's every chance that your opponent could use that against you, like because it could get caught on something, they could grab it and throw you somewhere. Just in general, they are not the best idea, but when used in a battle, they look bloody amazing. And sometimes you just want to look cool while you're fighting. I mean, it's why I always point out the Tifa versus Loz fight in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, because that also runs into that whole look and feel, and it's just really awesome, and I love it. I'm trying to think if there are any other fights. I mean, it's also why I really like Bayonetta's original design, because those sleeves have that same effect in terms of when they're moving about in battle. It just creates a really cool flow. And also, as you can see, with Aqua I really have begun on the right foot of going, I need to make sure that I'm levelling up my commands from the off and using them as much as is physically possible, because, well, for starters, because I'm going to be spending more time with Aqua than the other characters, it also means that I then have the time to level up all of the D-Links, and then that means that I can complete more of her reports, and just everything in general just works out really for me. And annoyingly, haven't gotten anywhere with levelling up Ven's D-Link just yet, but that is okay, because there's still a lot of fighting that we can do in the castle before we even get outside, really. And I mean, obviously, because of having that first bit at the beginning, we are splitting up Castle of Dreams into 2 parts. It just makes sense to do so, because, as I said before, it's worthwhile to spend that extra bit of time levelling up Aqua initially, so that then when you get to the slightly more challenging battles, you've got more health, more power behind you to just be more successful. Because obviously, as you can see, even like my regular attacks are not really doing a whole lot of damage either, so you kind of do have to rely on your magic, and also, particularly until you can get Cure, you seriously need to be making use of D-Links. That's why I would definitely recommend doing the command board with everybody before you even enter the first world, because there is a chance that you can get Cure. I had very, very bad luck, I think, if I recall correctly, and the game just did not want to give it to me. But that is okay, because as long as I do well and succeed, I will be happy. And I have to say, like, right now, I am loving finally being in Aqua Story, because it does mean that we are progressing towards sort of the final epicness of Birth by Sleep, because I mean, it's a game that I love, and I hope that you guys are all seeing that and enjoying it too, but also it just means that I'm making good progress, I feel. and that really didn't make much. Well, there wasn't really any point in saying that, but I don't really care because it's ludicrously warm here in the UK right now, and we don't deal well with heat. I definitely don't deal well with heat, so yeah, it's one of those situations where it's just like, brain slightly fried. Also doesn't help that I was up at the crack of dawn the other day for a work thing that I had to do, which was just like, oh god, no, leave me asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning. I on a Saturday as well. It's just like, no, do not do this to me. My body cannot be dealing with it. My body obviously had to deal with it, and I am partially suffering because of it. But hey, that was just the way the cookie crumbles. You just end up dealing with these things. Oh, and yeah, that's another reason why Aqua is so much fun to play with. Her block is much more effective than either Terra's or Ven's. Because rather than a block, it's a barrier. So rather than being entirely directional, which Ven and Terra's blocks are, Aqua's barrier actually means that you can protect yourself from all angles, which is an absolute godsend in a number of the battles that she has to face, because that way you don't have to worry from what direction your opponent is coming from. All you need to worry about is blocking at the right time, and then you can succeed. And that is why, just generally, she is the most fun character to play in the game. And when I take down some of the optional areas that you can do, it's why I'm taking her into that, because just really she is pretty gosh darn excellent. And D-Link, 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 don't be a daft sod, just bloody use a D-Link. Or run to the save point, make sure I save. That would also work. But yes, we will finish off Castle Dreams next time.